Alright, so we're essentially going to be looking at how to answer real-life questions using quadratic models, so like real-life problems. Most of these are just going to revolve around finding the vertex. We're going to put it into standard form. We're going to find the x value of the vertex using x equals negative b over 2a. We're going to find the y value by substituting into the equation. Alright, most of these problems, they're either asking for a maximum or a minimum value or something like that, and that's going to be referring to the vertex. So if we look at number 1, a company that produces motorcycles has a production cost of, and then we're given a function. Now remember, the c of x can just be y is equal to, so you don't need to leave it as c of x, it can just be y. Now this does need to be in standard form, so that we can have it y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, so we can identify the a, b, and c. So the x squared needs to come first, so we got 0.05 x squared. The x needs to come next, so we got minus 15x, and then the constant will come last, so we got plus 2,000. Alright, so the problem asks how many motorcycles can be produced to minimize cost. Alright, in this case, the x coordinate is going to represent the number of motorcycles, and the y-coordinate is going to represent the cost. So if we're looking for the minimum cost, we're looking for the vertex, all right? Because the quadratic is going to look like this. Since the a value is positive, it's positive 0.05, the parabola is going to be opening up, which means the minimum cost is going to be down here at the bottom, which is the vertex. So it says how many motorcycles can be produced to minimize the cost. So the x-coordinate is the motorcycles, and then letter B, what is the minimum cost? That's the y-coordinate. So let's first figure out how many motorcycles. So let's first figure out the x-coordinate of the vertex. So we're going to use our formula, negative b over 2a. So b is negative 15. Let's identify them first. A is 0.05, B, negative 15, and C is 2,000. Alright, so our negative B on top would be positive 15, since starting negative. On the bottom is 2A, and A is 0.05, so that's going to be 0.1. This evaluates to 150. So how many motorcycles can be produced to minimize cost? Well, the minimum cost is going to come when they make 150 motorcycles. Now, we need to figure out what that actual cost is. So we need to take that 150 and substitute it into the equation. So our equation, y is equal to 0.05, 150 squared, because x squared, minus 15 times 150 plus 2,000. Alright, so let's go ahead and calculate this. 150 squared is 2250, and let's multiply that by 0.05. So this first term is 1125, and then minus 15 times 150, so that's 2250 plus 2,000. Alright, now we just need to simplify, just add these 1125 minus 2250 plus 2,000, and we get 875. So the minimum cost, $875. So if they can produce 150 motorcycles, they can minimize their cost by selling them at $875 a piece. less than 150 motorcycles, and their cost starts going up again. Any more than 150 motorcycles, their cost goes up again, because this vertex is 150 motorcycles at $875. That's the vertex. All right. Most of these problems are just about finding the vertex here. So number 2, the revenue, so how much money they bring in, is modeled for the number of bottles of vitamins sold. X is modeled by, so we got y is equal to, it's modeled by negative 0.001 x squared, or sorry, 500x minus 0.001 x squared. All right, so in this case, the x is going to be the number of bottles of vitamins, and the y is going to be the revenue, so how much money they actually bring in. So when we look at our ordered pair for the vertex, keep in mind the x-coordinate is the number of bottles, the y-coordinate is the revenue. All right, let's rewrite this in standard form. So the x squared comes first, so it's negative 0.001 x squared. The x comes next, so plus 500x. The constant comes last. There is no constant, so we'll just put plus 0. So in this case, our A, negative 0.001. Our B, 500. Our C is 0. We're not really been using the C, but it's still good to do that. All right, so keep in mind, this parabola, since the A is negative, is going to be upside down like this, which means that our vertex is going to be a maximum up here. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's asking us for the maximum revenue instead of the minimum revenue. So it says A, how many bottles should be sold to maximize the revenue? Yep, because it's all the way up here. And it's asking how many bottles, so it's asking for the x-coordinate of the vertex. And then what is the maximum revenue? So in that case, it's asking for the y-coordinate. All right, so let's first do the x-coordinate. So we're going to, letter A, we're going to use the formula. X equals negative b over 2a. So x is equal to negative b is 500, so negative 500 over 2a. A is negative 0.001, so that's going to be negative 0.002, because we're multiplying it by 2. All right, something tells me this is going to be a big number. 500 divided by 0.002, 250,000. And that's our x, so that's the number of bottles. So it's 250,000 bottles is how many we need to sell to maximize the revenue. If we want to actually know what that maximum revenue is, we need to substitute this back into the equation. So y is equal to negative 0.001, okay, x squared, so 250,000 squared, plus 500 times 2 times x, so 250,000, and then plus 0, you don't need to add that part if you don't want to. All right, so we need to evaluate this first part, so 250,000 squared and then times negative 0.001. So that gives me, this first term is negative 62,500,000. The second term, 500 times 250,000, this is 125 million. I just need to combine these. So when I combine these, 125 million and negative 62.5 million, I get 62,500,000. Okay, so that's dollars. My maximum revenue that I'm bringing in when I sell 250,000 bottles is $62,500,000. All right, that's my revenue if I sell 250,000 bottles, and that's going to be my maximum revenue. If I sell more bottles than that, I'm going to make less money. If I sell less bottles than that, I'm going to make less money. All right, so the worksheet, that's the assignment canvas, numbers 2 through 4. All of them are in the same basic idea here.